Ladies and gents, welcome back. Hey, it's been another week. It's been a whole other week. Another 7 days have passed since the live stream and it's just flown by. Insane. Incredible. What a great turnout for even before I even started live streaming. Thanks everybody for joining in. If you're just tuning in for your first time and you're watching this after the fact, this is the live stream that happens every Friday at 6:30 Pacific time or 9:30 Eastern. If you're here live with me now, hey, say hello in the chat. How are you? How's your week been? We are in a new year. It has been so far incredible. Wow, insane. All kinds of fun stuff happening as it goes. If you're new to the channel and you don't know the gist of everything that's going on here, it's 10:30, almost bedtime. Zzz, you must be like way on the coast. All right. If this is, you're new to the channel, you don't know the routine of how everything goes around here. Every day of the week, every weekday, early in the morning, I wake up super early and I do videos. I talk about things that I think are important in Canada and as well as around the world, just important news for Canadian people and other people, I guess. Mostly the things that are most important to me anyway. I'll put together a few stories as much that I can do in the time that I go before I go to work. So I still have a full-time job. I'm a mechanic. I do that 8 hours a day, pull wrenches. And before I do that, I make sure you guys have some videos to see about current events, what's going on. At the end of the week as well, I like to do these live streams. And this is my thank you to everybody to come hang out with me as we recap some of these things, go over some other things, and talk about stuff that's going on in the community. And I think it's a lot of fun, and it's a great time to hang out for a couple of hours before we head over to the Discord afterwards, where we continue the conversation. I get to have a couple of wobbly pops. It's fantastic. 43. What's 43? What's going on? Let's get that chat in here. Boo-boo. Hey, the chat's in the visible space here on the video. But yes, we cover all kinds of new stuff. And a thing that I'm going to be working on for the remainder of this year, I'm going to try to keep this going throughout the whole year, is every Thursday. If you didn't notice, yesterday we did a premiere. It's a new feature on YouTube. Not everybody's familiar with how premieres work, but premieres are essentially, excuse me, drinking that fizzy water, and it gives you the burps. It's what it does. But so the premieres are a fantastic service that YouTube does now. And what I want to use these premieres for is I want to begin having longer form conversations. Most of you are familiar with the 10-minute or so videos that I do every morning. And a lot of people like that format, but there's other people that want to get more in depth. And I enjoy having conversations with people. Over the past year, I've been fortunate enough to have, through the miracle of just, networking and talking with people, I've been able to bring people onto the show and chat with them. And sometimes you can end up chatting for a long, long time. And that doesn't really fit with the 10-minute schedule thing. So I really want to have these long conversations with people. And if I can do that and then record it, instead of doing a live format. And the reason why I don't want to do live format for those in particular is because I want to have the full attention of the person that I'm talking to as much as possible. And when I have the chat going, I want to keep in touch with what's going on with the chat. So it makes the whole attention thing divided. And what I'm doing is I'm doing it this way so I can put a premiere and you guys are watching it for the first time live while I'm with you in the chat. And I think that's a fun way of doing things. It's a great way of having a community event like that. And we can call it, just like the Clyde Do Something podcast, I guess. So once a week, we're going to put one of those out. There's a number of people that are eager to come on and have these chats. So we're going to start with once a week, see how well it works. And then if there's more demand for it, then we'll do it more often. It's a matter of having the time for it and all that stuff. So yeah, I'm really excited about that. Yesterday was the first one to air on Thursday evening at 6 o'clock. I think 6 o'clock is a good time for it. Thursday evening, and then the live streams here at 6:30. So if you're Eastern time zone, that would be 9 o'clock, and then 9:30 for the live streams on Friday. But that's the way to do it, and we're gonna keep going with that. And next week, looking forward to having a really good chat with Joe Lyman for the channel, and you guys can get to know him because he's actually my behind the scenes guy. Joe Lyman, you'll probably see him in the chat from time to time as well, and he helps me behind the scenes with a lot of the research, with a lot of the things going on. It'd be great to introduce him to you guys because moving forward, he'll be in all these conversations as my back end guy, my research guy, my my guy. If I need anything, I can call on him and not take away from any conversation that I'm having with people. But yeah, these are the things that are moving forward. This is the routine on the channel, and I'm excited that you guys are just as excited about it as I am. Yeah, there's Joe. There's Joe in the chat. Woot, right there, Joe Lyman. Yeah, look forward to that next week. There's a bunch of things that we've been wanting to chat about in a recording, so yeah, definitely looking forward to doing that, chatting about things in a more public way than we normally do. But yeah, definitely looking forward. Paraphrase what? Phrasing. What? What is that? I don't know what that is. Anyway, looking forward to that. Yes, sounds like an awesome plan. I'm excited about it. I hope everybody is excited about it. And again, it's not going to take away from the usual morning videos. This is going to be extracurricular. There's more and more stuff going on all the time. I'm just really eager and excited to bring you guys as much as I possibly can with the time that I have allotted to me, and we're going forward with that. What was one of the things? Oh, I wanted to bring to people's attention. People have been bugging me to get a PO box, and that is something that I actually did. I went and I got a PO box, and I'm gonna have to put that in the description for those that wanted that. So a lot of people wanted to send things my way. I don't know what, perhaps, whatever people had in mind. Anyway, people have been bugging for a PO box, and I've managed to do that. I've gotten the PO box, and I'll make sure that everybody has that available to them to do that for. The pissed off box. Yeah, that's right. That's right. I might just put that in the about section for the channel as well, just so everybody has somewhere they know where they can send things if they want to send things. So sorry for being late on that one. There's just so much going on, and I know people are still bugging for the merch. I still haven't got around to that. We'll get around to it at some point, but that's not a huge priority. It's not my top priority. My top priority was getting the information and the stories and networking with people so that I can bring more information and spread it far and wide and get it out there as much as possible. That's the main goal here. That's the main goal. We want to send you some love. Well, appreciate that. Thank you so much. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you guys are all doing well. Yes, absolutely. Yay, PO box address coming. Yes, I have it. But I'm not going to just type it in the chat here. I'll put it in. I'll make sure it's in the description and in the channel about page, so everybody knows where it is, what it is. And caveat: I hired some left-leaning art students to open all the packages ahead of time. So if anyone had any things, they're also. I'm just saying this. So if anybody was trying to get at me, you gotta go through some left-leaning art students first. They're happy to open up packages willy-nilly. That's how they're doing it. Those left-leaning Antifa member art students. That's how I do my screening process. That's how we go. Love your channel. Thank you so much, Carolyn. Appreciate that. Are we still alive? Yeah, we're still alive. We're still alive. But that's that's where we hope to stay. Lefty human shields. That's how you got to do it, man. That's how you got to do it. And I keep getting accused of being on the right. I mean, I'm not left or right. I'm pretty center. There's things that I'm issues that I'm left on. There's things that I'm on the right with. But that's just the thing. Nice plan, rock shield liberals. Yeah, that's it. It's yeah, a bunch of Trudeau voters, really young ones. Just got the right to vote. Just got it. Central Clyde. It's Clyde Central. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Just stopped by to say hi. I'm on the Mavericks. I'll join your show late in a bit. Yeah, okay, for sure. For sure. Enjoy your time over there. I didn't know they were streaming at the same time. Ew, center, stay in BC, lol. Okay, fair enough. The XBB-15 sounds like a droid from Star Wars. It does, until you call it the Kraken, the thing that nothing escapes. No one shall escape the the wrath of the Kraken. That's, yeah, no, it's crazy. It's crazy. No anthrax, Clyde. Yeah, that's it. Well, no, I won't get it. My liberal art student letter openers will get that. So if that's your prerogative, that's on them. That's how it suck. That would really suck for them. The Kraken, yar mateys, right? It's insane. They're calling it the Kraken. The new variant, by the way, and that's the XBB-15. Which, again, sounds like a droid. Hey, Clyde, it's a great show. Rick on the Maverick has Peace Man and James Bowder. Oh, okay, so they're over there right now. Okay, fair enough. Well, thanks for letting us know. Release the Kraken. Yeah. Everybody, there's 328 of you in the show right now. Go on over, hit that like button. The thing that does, I mean, it feels like, oh, I'm just appeasing your ego. I'm just helping you. No, I mean, yeah, you could thumbs down my videos all you want. That's fine too. But what it is the engagement. It really is the algorithmic gods with a small g. They're out there and they're reading what it is that you are all doing. And if you engage with content by chatting in the chat, leaving comments in the comment section, and smashing that like button, what it does is it actually tells them that people of your demographic, people of your age, kind of things you like to watch, I bet you these other guys, they'd like to watch that too. And YouTube does a great job of recommending this kind of stuff. Rex, you know what? It's funny. The 0 dislikes, I want to get more dislikes going. not from you guys. No, I get recommended out to so many great people that love my content, and I'm so appreciative of that. But there's not a lot of people who dislike what I say watching my content. I want to get it out there. I want to get the conversation happening, because this is a big part of the whole thing, is actually reaching across the aisle, reaching across the people you disagree with, and being able to have these conversations with them as well. Trish Pruitt, the $20 super chat. Thank you so much. Can you wish my son Mike a happy 39th birthday? Of course I can. Mike, happy 39th. Great. It's a great year. I remember it. It wasn't very long ago. It was last year. I had a great 39 years on this earth, and now I'm at 40, and holy cow, happy birthday, Mike. Happy birthday. And thank you so much, Trish Pruitt. I really appreciate that. Flowers got you, Clyde. Flowers? Flowers for what? I'm not sure. Okay, now, yeah. Everyone's goading on people to leave those. You don't have to, but I appreciate it. I really do. Yeah, look at the chat. The chat's going nuts. Happy 39th, Mike. Absolutely. Good job. This is great. Clyde, you are cracking me up. Ooh, puns. To be 40 again. No thanks. What? Oh, God. Wow. Yeah, 40. I turned 40. Lordy. Look who's 40. But hey, it happens. We all get there someday. That's definitely a thing For sure. But hey, everybody out there, join the Discord if you can, if that's something you're into. I made a promise at the early part of the stream, or in the chat before the stream went live. Divide that by 2. Yeah, right. Everybody says I look young for 40. I think I do. I grow a beard so I don't look like a child. It's just a thing. Yeah, release the Kraken. So what I wanted to do was, there are some people that struggle with the Discord. There's boomers out there, have a hard time. Get into the Discord, new social media, don't know how to navigate it. So I'm just going to throw this out here. I'm going to give you guys a sort of little tour of how Discord works. I'm not going to spend too much time on this, but this is Discord on a web browser, and don't mind the color scheme because I don't know why it's not working. I have it on dark mode, but then I have another dark mode plugin that reverses that too. So it's all, the color scheme's all messed, but this is essentially how a Discord works. On the right here, you have what's going on with the chat room that you're in. On the left here is all the different chat rooms that are in the server. Now, if you go to the far left menu, that'll be all the different servers that you belong to. If you go up to the top where you can't see, it's just above that, you'll see the little Discord symbol, and that'll be direct messages. So if you click on that, I'm not going to click on that because I'm not going to show you my DMs. But if you click on that, it'll give you the direct messages for where people, if they want to direct message you, you can direct message other people. But this is more about the community thing. So you'd click right here. That'll bring you into this server space right here, right? And this at the top, there's events. And then to make things convenient, I put the voice channels right at the top. So when you come in, you can know if there are people chatting in the chat. And there's 4 people currently chatting in the voice chat right now, and they're in there having a ball. And even somebody's showing off some stuff. They're watching me live in the chat. That's the thing. Okay, so they're commenting over the live stream as it's going. There's a second voice channel if you can't get into the first one because there's too many people sharing video, what have you. If people are sharing video, it's 25 people max. If there's no video shares, you can have 100 people or 99. But that's the thing. Okay, you scroll down and you'll have the info and rules. This is mostly just where everybody comes in. The rules to the Discord are up there. There's archive of different videos. There's community creations. This is where other people can share their work. Most people hang out in the general chat, where you can see people are having conversations in that chat. There's a bunch of other chats. Memes is where I get all my memes from you guys. You guys are great. They're all great. So this is how Discord works. I hope you can figure it out, familiarize yourself with it. For all those people that are laughing at the whole concept, there are people that struggle with this stuff. So give them a break. And this is why I gave you the little tour of this, so people can figure out how to manage it. Anyway, the rules that we have in the Discord is don't be a prick. Like, that's just the way there's a bunch of other rules, and they're all along those lines. They're all just along those lines. None of your fetishes or sexy stuff. No, there are other places you can go to do that stuff. And it's genuinely about the community getting together. There's even a lizard people chat if you want to go nuts with your conspiracy theories. You can go in there if they're a little too far gone. And remember, at any time you're in a public server, public space, there could be people watching you. And so behave yourself as if you're being watched. Because, well, in all chances, with the audience growing the size that it is, anytime we're in a public space and we're conversing with each other, there probably is people watching. People who don't like what's going on are watching. Just assume that and just roll with things like that. So anyway, that's how that works. Anyway, enjoy. Have fun in the Discord. It's a great community. There's lots of cool people in there. So let's get on with some of the memes from the community. Ladies and gents, this is the part of the chat that most people enjoy the most. When I skip the memes, people are mad People do not like me skipping memes on a Friday evening. So let's get right into some of these. Right off the bat, we've got Happy New Fear, ready to spin the wheel of this year's fear-induced crisis. I love how they got the swastika in the middle. For those that don't know, that symbol right there in that center, that's known as the swastika, and that is the World Economic Forum little wheel of colors. But yeah, it's now known as the swastika, and now will go down in infamy as a fascist symbol. Absolutely. A bug in his hand. Oh, I didn't even notice that. He's holding a cricket and a sparkler. But yeah, we got all kinds. What's going to happen this year? What's the new panic for all of us? Economic collapse? That's kind of one I'm betting on. Don't know if it's going to happen this year, but we can. Wheel of misfortune. That's right. That's right. Let's move on. We're moving on. Moving on. Gentlemen, it's been a privilege being psyoped with you. As the ship's going down. Yeah, that's right. The swastika. Keep that in mind. Always remember that one. All right. Let's just keep moving. Back in my day, people died non-suddenly. Oh, okay. I think we all get that one. Don't want to go too far. Get in trouble here on YouTube. But yeah, journalist keyboards in 2023. They got this systemic racism. Experts say, I love that one. That's my favorite. That's my favorite. Because when people on the news, they say experts say, or they'll say some are saying, some people say, that just means here comes my opinion. Here comes my straight up just my opinion. Oh, LGBTQAI plus phobic Nazis, Trump, whiteness, Putin, DeSantis, fascist. Oh my God, it's full. Oh, anti-vaxxer on the space bar. That's a whole lot of press in that one. Wow, unprecedented should have been on there. Absolutely, Jane. That's right. Again, this soda water is giving me the burps. Pardon me. Pardon. Which is your favorite psyop of all time? Wow, that's the $1 million question, right? So of course, COVID, monkeypox. Whatever happened to that? Whatever happened to that? That kind of disappeared. That fell off the face of the. It fell off somebody's face. Fake Ukraine war or the climate changing. Woo! That's a tough one. Tough call. Favorite psyop of all time. Help! I'm having a coincidence. It's only a coincidence that I had this right after getting the. Just saying it's a coincidence, you know. But yeah, here we go. We've got George Orwell, 1984, a manual for the Trudeau government. And it has been these days. It seems that way so far, especially with what's going on with Jordan Peterson at the moment. I hope you guys caught the videos. If not, I'll definitely be catching up on a bit of that here tonight in tonight's stream. Oh, it's hard. It's a lot to cover in a 10-minute video. That's just insane to me. It's crazy where we've come, how far we've come. Wow. This one cracked me up. Okay, this one caught me too, right? So by the time that I realized that was a shopping bag, I already missed the bus. Not gonna lie, I spent more time than I should have looking at this picture. Just keep going. Oh, let's get the chat in here. Just keep going. Stop. What are you doing? Just keep going. That is brilliant marketing. Am I right? Oh, perfect. The juxtaposition. It lines up so perfectly. Amazing. All right. What else we got here? Oh, this one cracked me up. I had to share this one. Hey, guy, you just killed my Uncle Ben, buddy. I hope everyone gets this. I'm not your buddy, guy. Oh, I hope everyone gets that one. Heart problems linked to everyone except everything except you, that thing we made you get. Maybe it's not linked to that. But everything else, absolutely everything else. I'm not your guy, buddy. Oh, this one's great. My coworker just died suddenly. That's awful. Were they vaxxed? That's so inappropriate to ask. Oh, how many people have heard that one lately? When something goes wrong and then people ask, "Oh, were they vaxxed?" And then the response is, "How dare you? How dare you ask that question? That is a private piece of information, and you just do not step over that boundary. You don't ask people that. That's just inappropriate. That's Oh, was it? Dude, you wanted to know if I was vaxxed before you let me into the effing McDonald's. Wow, indeed, right? Oh, okay. The tables have turned. The turning tables are turning. It's one of those. Absolutely. How dare you? How absolutely dare you? Ask me. Ask me that thing that it fits so well. I don't want to be asked. How dare you? Oh, unreal. How to keep your husband satisfied, wiki how. Dress like a nurse so you can live the ultimate fantasy of pretending that he has healthcare. Some of these are just too good this week. They're killing me. Just killing me. Oof. That's sad. Somebody else in the comments said, "Oh, well, what if she showed up as someone delivering maid service?" Woo! That's not a good. That's maybe one of those David Carradine sort of. Oh, too soon? No, it's not too soon. I don't understand people that do that. Anyway, I'm so glad I was taught how to play the recorder at school. It has come really in handy as an adult in adult life. I lost count of the times I've resolved a difficult situation with a quick blast of 3 blind mice. It's too funny. It's an introduction to music. It's a thing. It's an introduction to music. But yeah, for a lot of people, it's time wasted. It is time. Just get into a real instrument. Why? All right, here we go. Justin Trudeau is returning to Canada after his 10th day of his 1-week vacation. Read that again slowly. Justin Trudeau is returning to Canada after the 10th day of his 1-week vacation. This man does not care about Canadians at all. It's not much of a meme, is it? That's not. No, that's not much of a meme. That's just the truth. There's Trudeau. Let's see again. Let's see 2023 agenda. And the West is getting prepared for this one. Kind of tired of these agendas. Still 0, Clyde. Keep it up. How can you tell? You can't tell. Oh, have you got one of those plugins that shows the dislikes? Because I have to go to the behind the scenes thing. Hit refresh before it'll show me likes versus dislikes. There's 5 dislikes. There's 5. I got 5 haters. I do have haters. Don't get me wrong. There are a few haters, and it's awesome. They watch all my videos, but I wish there was more. Honestly. More haters would be funny. It'd be great. Because like all my like to dislike ratios are like 99 point something %. And that's sad. Like I want to see more. I can't say everything that everybody likes. There's no way. There's got to be things that people don't like. And they don't voice themselves, that's for sure. It's crazy. But yeah. No, that's the thing. Maybe I have more dislikes on this one now because of that. Because I said that. Someone's gonna go through all my videos and hit that dislike. Oh well. Too funny. By the way, there's 408 people in here and only 268 likes. Come on, folks. No, don't be so stingy. Don't be so stingy. Let's get into these memes. The best part about right-wing girls. I'll let you guys read that. That's the thing. That's the thing. But oh, what about? But there are a few exceptions. I mean, there's Blair White. Blair White, she's a right-wing girl, and wow, got one of those. She got an antenna. Let's just say. There's the pedophile treatment center. Just in case anybody needed to know. Just in case. This one. These are killing me. These ones from the US. If you don't know the situation going on right now, they can't seem to elect a Speaker of the House in America right now. And so there's this guy, McCarthy, and they want the establishment really, really, really wants him. But there's a bunch of holdouts. There's a bunch of holdouts of people who are not rhinos at the moment. And they are trying to not get this guy. I think they're voting for, what was it, Jim Jordan was his name? But yeah, vote after vote after vote. And still not speaker. Still not speaker. Oh, shucks. 20 holdouts. Last I checked, it was 19. So I'm glad. Good. Good. More holdouts. Hold out. More of them, the better. The more of them, the better. Joe was telling me the other day that one of the Republicans came up and said, hey, well, if you guys hold out, we might end up with a Democrat. And one of the holdouts said, well, only if you vote for a Democrat. What are you doing? What are you doing? I liked you since I met you, Clyde. You gotta be kidding. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Matt Gaetz voted for Trump. What? Is that as the Speaker of the House? That's hilarious. What else have we got here? Oh, this is one of those how to tell if you're not a robot. Okay. Select all the images with speakers. I love it. I love it. Oof. Sorry about your luck. What's with McCarthy? This is the new McCarthy. What happened to old McCarthy? We need to get back to like the old McCarthy, the McCarthyism McCarthy. You know, the guy that used to run around and question people if they were communists? He chased all the communists out of town. And you know, it's funny, I was a kid and I heard all these jokes, and it turns out that the media for a long time has been pretty left leaning and like really far and very, very like politically subversive. They've been, it turns out like the Saturday Night Live was very, very much so that for a long time, even before I was aware of it. And, so you'd see all these jokes about McCarthyism and like how they would talk about McCarthy and how it was such a bad thing, but then it turns out they were all commies. Like at the end of the day, he's vindicated. He's vindicated at the end of the day. It's crazy. It's crazy. Duke gifted 5 Clyde Do Something memberships. Duke, thank you so much. Duke Darby. Appreciate that. Thank you so much. Everybody who got a membership, you better say thank you, Duke. Thank you, my man. Absolutely. Enjoy the new emojis that you can put in the chat. I put a bunch of them. The dumpster fire's got to be my favorite. But there are some fun ones, and you can have some fun with that in the chat. Enjoy it. But yeah. McCarthyism. We need to bring that back. Let's chase the commies out of town. I saw this one here. and it's a spoof. It's a spoof on on the World Economic Forum videos, and I thought I'd have to share this. It's just way too good. This is Karen. We have brainwashed Karen using psyops. Karen wears her mask and does as she's told. Karen is up to date on all of her mRNA gene therapy injections. Karen's offspring wear a mask too. He would be ripe with sorry. He would be ripe with adrenochrome. Karen has the Ukraine flag in her profile. She has no idea what a neo-Nazi is. She calls Putin Hitler. We actually can't believe you fell for this again. We look forward to patenting more humans like Karen. Be like Karen. You will be happy. Oh, this is too good. This is too good. I thought I have to share that one. I hope I don't get copyright strike for the audio on that, but definitely worth a share. So some other awesome things on Twitter today. I put this one out there, and I'm not taking credit for this. Actually, Joe wrote this, and he texted it to me, and I was like, Joe, I got to tweet this out. And he's like, yeah, go give her. Absolutely. Hey, G-Meister with a with a member, now been a member for 6 months. Thank you so much. Karen unsee a hole in her bedroom wall to get off as well. Oh God. No, that's the Bonnie Henry hole. That's the one that they recommended. Ooh, absolutely. But yeah, absolutely, Joe. Credit where credit is due. Joe wrote this actually, but he was like, I was like, I gotta share this. And so Twitter was the avenue, and here I am talking about it here. By constantly giving us small shots of BS, our media government has inadvertently provided the populace with the greatest immunization program of all, granting us an immunity to BS. That's fantastic. Small incremental doses of BS will inoculate us from dealing with the actual BS that they have coming at us. And some of them, not so much. Some of them, absolutely. But that's a thing. Richard Pierce with the $10 super chat. Thank you so much, my man. Rocking in the Kootenays. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you so much. I will keep it up and appreciate it. Definitely thankful for the super chats. Thank you so much. But yeah, this new type of immunity is, I don't think, something that they were anticipating. That same here. There's the BBC in England just spewing all that BS right at everybody. Hypometer. Awesome. We're totally immune. Well said. We just need to get a herd immunity now. How many weeks to flatten the regime? I like that. I think that's hilarious. That's really good. I watch the mainstream media anymore. I would have to pull an Elvis and shoot my TV. It's all lies and advertising. Yeah, it is. It was funny because we went to a hotel, me and the family, at one point. And we turned on the TV, and it was hilarious. We turned on the TV, and my daughter's all excited because we only give her so much screen time. So when the TV goes on, she's, I want to see it. Planted in front of it. She's doing her thing. And so she's watching the TV, and she was grossly disappointed. Like, ridiculously disappointed, to the point where I even did a short. It's on the channel. It's hilarious. But it's her just saying, it's all ads. It's just ads. I'm like, what? It's just ads? She's like, yeah, pretty much. And she just walks away from it. She just walks away. She doesn't want anything to do with the television and the fact that it's all ads. Insane. But yeah, people at the beginning of the chat saying the binary joke. That's because I put this one out there. My audience is binary. We just hit 101,101, 10101. And a lot of people pointing out that actually, if broken down in binary, is 45. So I have an audience of 45, if you consider that in binary, and that's actually how it goes. Ward Furtuck, I hope I got that right. Happy New Year, Clyde, with a $10 super chat. Who do you believe will be our next PM? Well, I honestly believe that Pierre Poilievre is going to end up being the next PM, but I mean, only time will tell. I definitely want to hold his feet to the fire the whole time because I just don't want. I don't like playing the team politics game. I really don't. I don't like the. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. I really appreciate that. And then I'll get into a bit more of the explanation. I really don't like the team game. There's a lot of people out there that are like, my team versus their team. My team can do no wrong. Their team does everything wrong. No, if the Liberals did something right, I would give them credit for it. If the NDP did something right, I would give them credit for it. And if the Conservatives did something right, I'll give them credit for it, but I'll give them hell when they do something wrong. I just did the other day with Pierre, and I'm going to be showing that video again coming up. But you can't get into this like my team, their team, my team, their team. I know it's a human nature thing, but we got to break that. We got to break that entirely because you got to keep people to account. And here's the thing. Like I had Maxime Bernier on the other day. I love Max. Max is a great guy. Everybody's like, ask him if he's part of the WEF. He's been asked that a bunch. I'm not gonna ask him. He's categorically denied being part of the WEF. He went as he was a minister of foreign affairs, I believe, and he went to Davos because all the other foreign affairs ministers, his contemporaries or his counterparts for other governments, were there. He explains this. He explained this on Mr. Sunshine Baby's channel when he was on there. So I think he's answered that. I don't think we have to keep repeating that one. But anyway, I had a great chat with Maxime Bernier. I think by having other political parties and having other candidates and people's votes possibly going in other directions should shape up the political parties. As for, am I a big fan of starting new political parties? I think it's tough undergoing. It's not that it's impossible, but I think my time would be more well invested in subverting the political parties as they are. That's how they got the way they are. They got the way they are because they were subverted. We as the people need to revert, I guess. Revert should be the word, because subvert means to take away from what their main purpose is. But that's what has been done. So there's, special interests, lobby groups, and all these people that are actually steering policy when it should be the constituents that voted these people in. Yes, revert to go back. So I'd say revert the parties by infiltration. We need to infiltrate the cabinets as voting public, as the people who they're supposed to be representing. We need to do that. And how do we do that? Well, we get the WEF guys out. And I think it's great having other parties too. And I'm not poo-pooing on the PPC. I think they have an important role in Canada, but I think we have an important job ahead of us, and that's to root out all these people that don't have Canada as their interest, their main interest. And don't get me wrong, I care about the world. I think the world needs to be a good place, but we got to start here. And I think that's the main thing. Drain the swamp, as you want to call it. PPC for the official opposition. If that was the future, I think that would be great. Because, but here's the thing. We have institutions. We have these political parties that are, they're big and they're there. And if we can get our guys into them, then we can get into them. I'd rather have PPC than Liberals. Absolutely. I'm with you on that. But I would like to go back to the days where the Conservatives were, pretty actually conservative, and the Liberals were just, corrupt. They're just skimming off the top, just stealing a little bit instead of destroying our nation. You know, like that's the difference. I'd like to go back to that. If that's our conservation, if that's what we're conserving, that would be a step in the right direction. But yeah, no more secrets. Yeah, a lot of things got to change. A lot of things have to change. And I really, the only thing I regret not bringing up, and it's hard when you do these interviews with people, is remembering all the little things that you want to talk about. One thing I regret not bringing up was the concept of it's nearly impossible to start a new party in this paradigm. The people who control government also control the finances. We need to decentralize currency or remain slaves. Okay, well, that you hit a bunch of topics in one sentence. I don't know how to dissolve that one into one thing. But what I was gonna get at was one of the things I would love to have brought up with Max, and I probably will in a subsequent chat with him, because he's more than happy to come on and chat with me, which I'm really happy about, and I've got a really good rapport with Max. But I'd like to bring up the concept of moving the power of the purse, the power of taxation, to the provinces, and getting it away from the federal government, and that the government can lobby the provinces for federal funds, because this relationship we have with the federal government is not working out. It's just not working out, and think it's dysfunctional, and and if you're in a dysfunctional relationship, you either change the dynamics of the relationship or you end the relationship. And I'd rather not end the relationship with the provinces and the federal government, but I would like to change the dynamics of it. So I think that might be a good step in the right direction. Absolutely. If I'm wrong, please somebody point that out to me and point out to me why that's not a good idea. Trapper Dan 1953 with a $20 super chat. Happy New Year, Clyde. I'm impressed with your charisma. Do you think PP is the real McCoy? Well, thank you for the $20 super chat. Is PP the real McCoy? We'll see. He's quieted down quite a lot since everybody was really excited about him. Very, very excited about him during his run for the leadership role in the official opposition party, the CPC. And then he got kind of quiet. And the CPC's not really doing a whole lot. Not a lot going on. Not a lot happening. That's disheartening for a lot of people. That's a thing that people are not super stoked about. Now he's had a bit of a social media presence, but the rhetoric has definitely toned down quite a bit. Now we're talking about the Pierre Poilievre, who was in office, was he was an MP under all of this stuff during the whole COVID pandemic. A lot of the votes went the same way as the Liberals and the NDP when it came to mandates and all of this stuff. So it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to tell. So I think only time will tell. PP can get too loud. Oh wait, PP can't get too loud or he'll be labeled an extremist. Well, the government's extreme. The government's extreme. What needs to happen is you can't let them control the narrative. If he's letting them control the narrative, he's already lost, in my opinion. At this point, he's already lost if he lets them control the narrative, because then he controls what he's able to say, what he's able to bring up in conversation. And then what do we have? No, we need to change the narrative. They want to show regular everyday people as extremists. Prove everybody that that's just a bunch of BS. That's the thing. Let people know that this is, I'm a normal guy, but these are the opinions I have. I'm not going crazy on the streets, and I'm not yelling it at the top of the hills. I'm yelling it on the internet, but all of us, we can have these opinions and not be crazy people. This is why it's important to let people know what your opinion is, and show that you're just, you're just an average person, because this is the tactic that they use. Label a certain type of opinions as extreme, as extremist, and then what? And then people are like, oh, everyone thinks that about that opinion. I don't want people to think that about me, so I'm just gonna zip it. I'm gonna shut up. And that's what happened during the whole pandemic. It took the truckers to get everybody to go, yeah, I'm down with ending these mandates. I want this over. I want it done. The government's overreaching. The government's overstepping. And then everybody got excited about it. And then they said, oh, they're fringe. They're a minority. No, they're not. They're not. Nope. Don't think so. And, people got on board with that. Yeah, a lot of people got scared because of the Emergencies Act. But what comes next? What comes next? You get scared, and then what? And then what? Then you're all alone again. And then when something happens, anyway, they're gonna come for you, and nobody come. Yeah, no, you gotta let people know. You gotta let people in your life know this is the truth, and let people know you got their back. Hey, just so you know. If anything goes down, no matter what, I got your back. Just let people know that. I'm not gonna be one of those crazy people like that turn on their neighbors and stuff. Just so you know, I won't be that guy. You know what I mean? Just let people know that, because that's the fear people have. The fear is the people have is, oh my God, everybody's gonna turn on me. No, let everybody know that. And again, that was the thing when the trucker convoy went off, that everybody realized everyone's got my back. So many people agree with me. The fringe minority and you can see it right now today. you go out on the street. Oh, whoa, acceptable fringe. That's the unacceptable fringe. Member for 7 months. Great videos this week, Clyde. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much, man. Thank you so much, Derek. I appreciate that. Do you know who Vashiva is? I don't. No. I'll have to look that one up. That's something I'll have to look up. But yeah, just always keep that in mind. Your friends, all these people, they've got your back. And it's not going to change. It's not going to change. I know some people have this weird thing. We're anxious creatures, and we're always concerned about who's part of our Vandana Shiva. She's a beautiful soul. Okay, I'll have to check her out. Vashiva, the Hindu goddess. The Hindu goddess? Like the Hindu goddess? I don't know. You guys have to fill me in. Shiva, smart lady. Okay, no. Well, if she's a smart lady, maybe she'll want to come on and chat with me. I would love that. That would be fantastic. She's great. It's 420 somewhere. It's always 420 somewhere, isn't it? That's correct. Anyway, let's get into some more stuff. Allison Morrow had me on her show, and she had a funny moment I thought I'd share with you guys. So we were talking about, before we get into that, holy cow. Landon Gear. I like the name. It sounds, is that your real name, or is it like just a joke? Landon Gear, like your landing gear on an airplane. Anyway, with the $5 super chat, is your PO box big enough to hold a case of wobbly pops? Thanks, Clyde, for keeping it real. It's at a post office, so they just give me the slip for packages. That's the deal. Just remember, it's any packages opened won't be opened by me. They'll be opened by my young liberal arts students. That's who opens the packages. So if you, I don't know why you would need to know that. Just so you know, dude. Just so you know that. I've hired them. They're under contract, and they love their situation. Nathan Racing. with a $10 super chat. Small tip for a big guy. Keep up the good work you're doing for everyone here. Happy 2023 and best wishes. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. That's awesome. That's awesome. I really thank you so much. Jelly Duck with member for 8 months now. Wow. Happy 2023. Good to see you, man. You know what I need to do? I need to because there's pretty they're pretty just kind of like they're the default little markers for when you're a member. If you're a member for over a month or over a certain amount of time, it gradually changes color until you're a gold member or whatever. and I need to update those so there's something a little bit more poignant to the channel. I think that would be a lot of fun. But yeah, you get the longer you're a member for, consecutive months in a row, the little icon changes next to your name, and that would be great. Rattle Sol, awesome. I don't know that. Yeah. All right, let's get into this. So Allison Morrow had me on her show again. I've become a regular over there. I really like going on her show. She's fantastic. And I'm kind of her Canadian correspondent for her American audience. She's largely an American audience there. But she had an incident. Her 2-year-old decided to help her baby brother during a live stream. Thanks to Clyde, do something for joining the many guests in my Hall of Mom live stream sabotage fame and rolling with it.
She's worked on tons of diseases like Ebola and anthrax. She's really high level on this stuff. Whoa, what just happened? Okay.
An incident on the scene.
Yeah, it's okay. We have I think my
oh no.
In real time, my daughter gave my son bitters. Do you know what bitters is?
Like Angostura bitters? What?
Bitters, it helps with digestion. It really helps him with digestion. And she just
Noob, thanks for the 10 gifted subs or gifted memberships.
Okay, so I'm gonna play this since I obviously need 30 seconds to collect myself. This is what it's like being a mom on a live stream. But Clyde, what I was saying is she's like done a lot of high level work, and the government has listened to her through many pandemics of, if you will. And then COVID rolls around. Here, can you draw me a picture? Thank you. COVID rolls around. This is what.
Anyway, it's quite a scene trying at the moment for Allison on her channel. So she's juggling 2 kids while we're doing the show. Anyway, next time I'm on there, check her out anyway. And her usual podcasts and her live streams that she does there. She's also on Rumble and a bunch of other places. For those that like to watch their stuff in alternate places, I only do my live streams here on YouTube. Some people are not keen on that. Some people are like, Clyde, what are you doing? Get on all these other platforms. But I like to bring people to one central location. I like one chat. I don't like the split up chats. I'll have the one chat, and then I'll mirror all my other content over on Rumble. That's a thing that I do here. But yeah, Allison rocks. Absolutely. Allison's great. So go check that out. Other things that happened this week. I had, again, Maxime Bernier was on the show. This is Maxime tweeting this out. Why economics and peace should be Canada's top priority. That was the title of it. Yeah, check it out if you haven't seen it already. But looking forward to it. More premieres at the beginnings. On Thursdays. So look forward to, keep that open on your calendar or in your weekly routine. Thursdays at 9 Eastern will be debuts for these chats, and they'll be the premiere format. So it's played live, so you can watch it live with the rest of the chat and chat along with everybody, myself including. So that is a thing. Clyde, you're doing everything. I do a lot of stuff, but I have help from you guys. I actually, this one had me in the morning. This one got me. Northern Yites? I don't know how do you say that. Tweeted this one at me saying, Lamau, simply don't eat. What's your absolute gem? This quote is, thanks, Jimmy Jaggers. Jimmy McJuggernuggets. This one got me though, because it's Jugmeat Singh's hypocrisy. It's not his actual one, but it might as well be with what it says. My family enjoys fasting for religious reasons. Perhaps your family can try fasting to save money on groceries. The best way to beat the grocery price heat is to simply not eat. Oh, God. Oh, it sounds like a legit campaign slogan on the NDP front. The best way to beat the grocery price heat is to simply not eat. There we go. Vote Jugmeat Singh. Together, not I, we will defeat big grocery CEOs by simply not eating. Yeah. Jimmy McJuggernuggets. God, you can't get past this. But yeah, that was a thing. That was a thing. This one, tweeted out by Darshan Maharaja. Great Twitter handle. Go follow this guy. He's I like this, seeing Canadian issues through a multicultural lens, writing on some of these issues too, often mistaken as a conservative or right winger. I like that. Anyway, he says that the Bank of Canada raised interest rates from 0.25 to 4.25 between March and December of 2022. Banks still pay a measly 0.01% interest on savings accounts. This is criminal, but they have increased their rates for lending. Has any Oppo politician talked about this? I hope this goes somewhere. I absolutely hope this goes somewhere because, yes, this is criminal. This is criminal. If they're making interest rates and the bank accounts aren't paying back these interest rates, so these are prime rates, right? 4.25. You get a mortgage, you're not paying 4.25. You're paying a lot more than that. This is how things work. The whole point of high interest rates is to incentivize savings. This is why interest rates go up. This is the market function of interest rates, is to incentivize savings. We have the lowest savings we've ever happen to have in this nation at this point. And yeah, runaway inflation. It's insane. So yeah, just keeping that one on the radar. I want to look into this more. Hopefully get someone with more economic experience than myself. I know a lot about economics, but yeah, I definitely want to pursue that one a little more. Let's get into a little bit of what was going on with Jordan Peterson this week. So, well, this is the initial tweet that broke this. Breaking, the Ontario College of Psychologists has demanded that I submit myself to mandatory social media communication retraining with their experts for, among other crimes, retweeting Pierre Poilievre and criticizing Justin Trudeau and his political allies. This is not a joke. This is actually not a joke. This is something that's happening right now, and this is the Ontario College of Psychologists. And I just want to preface this with, I've been talking about the colleges more in other contexts recently, because in British Columbia, there was a bill that passed, Bill 36. And don't think that this isn't coming to your province. If you don't live in British Columbia, it doesn't mean you're protected. This is a healthcare bill that, among other things, among many, many other things, is radically changing the way the colleges work. The colleges are already corrupt. Don't get me wrong. With what's going on with Jordan Peterson is absolute corruption. They're using the power that they have to license and the power to discipline people with licenses as a political tool. They're weaponizing it in order to go after him for his political speech. And it's criminal. And it's a good thing that he's able to actually have a judicial review, and he's filed for it. So but the judiciary is broken as well in this country. So I'm not fully faithful on this, but more to the Bill 36 in British Columbia. This will eventually come to all the provinces. This is a test case. They've been running test cases all over the country, province by province, trying these things out, seeing who will go along with this. But essentially, the colleges right now in all the other provinces, except British Columbia anymore, were always independent bodies. Now in British Columbia, they're effectively a government body. It's a thing. The medical boards across the provinces are what prevent doctors from speaking out about COVID and vaccines for the past 2 years. Yes, absolutely. Recall Abbey stopped the Bill 36. Well, Bill 36 is already passed. It's had royal assent. It is a law in British Columbia. It is the law in British Columbia now. This is the way it is. Now, there are a lot of other things in the bill, and it's big. But one of the things was they took I believe it was like 12 or 24 colleges, and they amalgamated them down to 6. Or was it 24 and they amalgamated it down to 12, or it was 12 and they went down to 6. They halved the number of colleges. And what did they do? Well, it used to be that they would hold elections, and then the board members of the college would be elected by who? The peers who have license. So anybody who had a license could vote in these elections. Now, not in British Columbia. They don't hold elections anymore. That now they're appointed by politicians. They're government-appointed bureaucrats. And now they can have these tribunals, and they're kangaroo courts. And I'm not kidding. If they do a disciplinary action, it's going right to these tribunals. And it's just political appointees. And not to mention, are they political appointees, but they don't even have to be members or licensed operators in that environment. So they don't have to be in, like, for the psychologist, they don't have to be a psychologist to be handed a job by a politician to be a sitting board member on one of these colleges. What happened to the guy in the brown jacket who was trampled with the old lady last year? I saw some video of him in the police paddy wagon after, but nobody's identified him. It appeared that he was all right after the fact, but nobody else has been able to identify him. So that's the end of that, as far as I know. Anyway, but that's the best information that I could get about that. But the colleges are now going to be run by the government, essentially, and by bureaucrats, unelected bureaucrats. That's our future, and not even doctors. Not even doctors. The one of the other things is when these judicial reviews, when these complaints go through, they're allowed to make them public immediately. So it won't be behind closed doors, like what the accusations are and whatnot. Even with or without the consent of the parties involved, it'll just be it would be public about the doctor, but not about the complainant. It'll be what the complaint was, and it's rife with problems. There's so many problems that will come up about this, and again, it'll just be weaponized against individuals. It's sad because what's going to happen with the whole situation? You're going to have people that are in the medical industry leave the industry or leave the province. And if they leave the province and they're looking around and they're like, that's funny. That's funny. They might be looking around at the rest of Canada and going, wow, they all want to pass similar bills in all the other provinces. They'll just leave the country. Like you said, Don, they'll just leave the country. And is that what we want? Is that what, I mean, it's what we're going to get. It's insane. But talking to Dr. Brian Day from the Canby Clinic the Canby Surgical Center, if you want to look it up. He's the one of the founding doctors there. I had no idea how broken our medical system was. I knew it was broken, but I didn't know it was broken to such an enormous degree. It's insane. The concept that we pay our hospitals before, just at the beginning of the year, every year, and then how the heck is that fair, Clyde? I don't know. That's not fair. I don't believe that's fair. The fact that they pay the hospitals at the very beginning of the year, and then none of the payment that they receive is tied to any services that they provide, is just insane. How did they not see that is not only a not an incentive to do anything, it's actually a disincentive to treat anybody? Because anybody that comes in the door is a cost. It's eating out of their profits. Because everything is a profit until a person comes in the door. So no wonder people are being told to wait. No wonder people are being pushed away and turned away. I'm seriously considering moving to Alberta. From where, Possum? From British Columbia? That's such a hard move. I know everybody's saying Alberta's calling, Clyde. But it's like the whole brain drain thing. What happens? What, do we all move to Alberta? Everybody moves to Alberta, and then what? And then it ends up crappy everywhere else, and then all the liberals move to Alberta. You want that? Is that what you're looking for? Eesh, I don't know about that. Calgary is the best city. Well, I've never been to Calgary, so I can't argue with that. I can't. Vancouver's not a good city. I wouldn't say that. I don't think Vancouver's a good city. It's just got too many problems. Way too many problems. Driving through it is just such a pain too. It's a pain to get through. It's horrible. And then, it's not like, because I lived in Toronto before, and Toronto's got its own problems, but like at least the food is good everywhere. Like so much good eats. And I'm not talking like, because I heard people say that Vancouver had really good food, and I walked around Vancouver. I been to so many places in Vancouver. I'm like, food sucks. Food sucks in Vancouver. What are you talking about? And they're like, I don't know what you mean. Like, they have the best gourmet and like I'm like, you don't judge a city by the gourmet food. You can get gourmet food anywhere and it'll be great. Whatever. That's big money dishes. No, you judge a city by how much you like the good food you can get for under $10. That's how you judge a city. If they have great food under $10, no matter where you go, there's always somewhere on some block where they have like amazing something for under $10 and it'll fill your belly. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. I hear this about Montreal. It's true about Toronto. Yeah. Vancouver, no. Like you can have so many 99-cent pizzas, but you'll never have a good one. that's that's the thing. So I'd love to check out Calgary. I have a friend, actually, like my wife's good friend, grew up together. She moved from Tokyo to Calgary, and her husband own a ramen shop there. So I'd like to go visit and have that. I'd love to try that. But of course, I'd love to try all kinds of other stuff. But I'll guarantee you that the ramen shop is really good. So all the Calgarians here, go check out. I don't know the name of the shop. I'm sure there's a few, but one of them is my wife's childhood friend, and that's a fact. Anyway, let's move on. Where were we? Dr. Jordan Peterson tweeting out, to clarify, it's been decided. Either I submit to social media communication retraining or face disciplinary hearing and possible suspension of my clinical license and the right to represent myself as a psychologist. I think that's where they're trying to get at him. He's not really trying to be a clinical psychologist at this point. He's He's a public figure now. He's well known for being a psychologist, but he's a public figure, and he holds interviews. He's an intellectual. That's kind of his position now. But if they can tear that away, you can't call yourself a psychologist anymore. Right? At the end of the day, though, like he's got a degree from Harvard University. These people are just petty. It's ridiculous. It really is. It really is. And what is the crime that he's done? Well, he's talked bad. He said bad things. He said things. And you know what? Some of them were funny. Some of them were good, and I actually approve. Some of them I approve. Like this one here. This guy, when talking about, he was talking about how we're overpopulated. You know, it's the overpopulation crowds that drive me nuts the most. We're actually in store for population a collapse. We're going to have a collapse in population. People just have not been having kids. It's true. And we need to brace ourselves for population collapse. Not, there's too many people. These people are crazy. They base all of this based on a failed mathematician from the turn of the century, who was he even a turn of the century? From like the 50s or 60s or something. Anyway, the whole petri dish. Oh yeah, you know, if there's food in a petri dish, particular type of bacteria will eat all the food and grow exponentially until there's no more food, and then it'll all die. Yeah, we're bacteria, right? You know, have you ever heard of a thing called adaptation? We definitely, the depopulation is working. Well, the depopulation is working in a sense that we're going to have population collapse regardless, just by means of people not having children. That's the replacement rate in all of these nations is insane. It's just not happening. It's really not happening. G Meister with a $10 super chat. Hey Clyde, did you hear about that company that's advertising growing human embryos? Dr. Peterson is under attack because he's scaring the crap out of them, in my opinion. I think it's creepy. I think it's creepy AF, growing human embryos. I don't know the particulars about that individually. Please send me a link if you know any of the stuff going on with that in particular. And I'd love to look into it. I know that there's a move to try to get babies out of the womb. Like they'll actually like in vitro or in whatever in a test tube fertilize the egg and the sperm, and then put it in this incubator that acts as like a womb outside of a human being. And just like, you think putting your kids on Ritalin's bad? Try not being born to a human being without hearing the heartbeat of a human being. All these things. Au natural is the way to go. It's all sounding like Demolition Man, but like this is the thing. Anyway, let's get into this. This guy, he's talking about depopulation, how it's great. It's such a great idea to depopulate and make sure that we get less people on this planet. Roger Palfrey. I disagree. And by the way, this is one of the guys that complained to the board. This is one of the guys, and this is the reason why he complained. I disagree. Based on the record of human behavior, we are already overpopulating this small world. Any arguments I have heard for supporting such a large human population completely overlook the huge loss of species and ecosystems resulting from our self-absorbed attention. To which Jordan Peterson replies, "You're free to leave at any point." So this guy complained to the Board of Ontario of psychologists. He complained to the board and said that Jordan Peterson told him to kill himself. Now, that's his own interpretation of this statement, right? But what he gave away in that statement, if he says that anybody advocating for them to leave the planet, if he is saying, and this is the Socratic method, right? You take a person's logic and you apply it elsewhere, and either it fits or it doesn't fit, right? So this guy's own logic, saying that Jordan Peterson is telling him to off himself, is the logic that would conclude him saying we need to depopulate the planet is advocating for mass genocide. Just think about that for a second. A guy who in his own head is advocating for mass genocide, is complaining to the board of psychologists for Jordan Peterson saying, hey, if you don't like it, you can check out. That's the world we're living in. That's the world we're living in right now. And that is honestly the opinion of a lot of these people. If you're advocating for getting rid of that many people, which some people are actually advocating, and people in academia and people in powerful positions are advocating getting rid of like 2/3 of the population of the planet. There's only one way to do that in short order. Now, there is going to be a massive population collapse, but they don't need to do anything for that. It's all happening on its own. It's all happening on its own because of economic situations, because of postmodernism. People just they're not having kids. Go have babies, people. Go have babies. Go have babies. We've made 2 already. God willing, we'll have a 3rd one. So we've at least replaced ourselves, the wife and myself. But yeah, God willing, we'll have another one. Then we can at least have a bit more of a population. And one thing I want to specify is make sure that you are good to your kids, because holy, let me tell you, the government's not going to be around for you in your old age. They won't be. Clyde clones? No thanks. No thanks. I don't want any clones of anybody. You need at least 8 Clyde. You know, there's the diminishing returns on that stuff, right? Anyway, let's get into some more of the things he had to say here. I mentioned yesterday that I wanted to make the details of the accusations made against me by the Ontario College of Psychologists public. Here is a string beginning that process, and then he deleted a tweet, so I don't know what he wrote there. I'm guessing it was just a typo, and then he corrected. You could edit if you just bought Twitter Blue, but whatever, Jordan. You do what you got to do. I plan ASAP to make all the allegations and my responses as public as possible while abiding by the ethical and legal restrictions on doing so, and at least insofar as those rules and clear commensurate with the truth and a reasonable defense. Here are the demands made of me regarding my re-education. I have formally indicated my refusal to comply. So there's a whole list of things, and on the last page is where you get the real gist of it. Here's the last page of the required undertaking. And he says here, I understand that if the coach does not provide a final report indicating that the acknowledged concerns above have been appropriately remedied in the public interest, right? It's the public's interest. It's not the interest of this partisan group that has infiltrated this infrastructure in our society that's infiltrated this college and is using it for political weaponization. No, this is the interest of the public, they say. I will not be considered to have successfully complied with this undertaking. This may constitute professional misconduct, and the registrar may proceed to investigate the matter in accordance with the Health Professions Procedural Code, which is scheduled to the Regulated Health Professions Act of 1991. So, in so many words, if he goes into room 101 and is taught that 2 + 2 = 5, and he cannot comply, or if they're not convinced with his compliance, if they are not convinced fully that he believes that 2 + 2 = 5, even if he states that, and they're just thinking, oh, you're just saying that because that's what we want to hear, we need you to believe it. And if they don't believe his conviction, he'll still have his license taken from him. In the event that for any reason beyond my control, I'm unable to satisfy all the terms and the acknowledgement and undertaking, any modification of the arrangement and undertaking will be at the discretion of the registrar. And then, of course, at last, before the signature, I've had the opportunity to seek qualified legal advice before agreeing to this acknowledgement and undertaking. This is for real. Jordan Peterson is in the United States. Hi. Yeah. Jordan is in the U.S. and he has places in the U.S. JP has to pay for the treatment so they can take as long as they want. Yeah, that was something that was revealed in Michaela's video on the subject. Michaela is his daughter, who also is a public figure and has a following, a big following, at $250 an hour of his money. This is at his cost. $250 an hour for his re-education. Now, they don't call it re-education. It has some fancy pants name for it, but that's what it is. It's re-education. It's naughty boy. You're not allowed to say these things. You're not allowed to say the things that you've been saying. And it's not just... So that was the one complaint that really struck me, was the overpopulation guy. The guy who wanted to reduce the population. It's a disgusting opinion, in my opinion. That is a disgusting opinion. And it's on par with, some of the more atrocious things that people have said in history. This notion that for the betterment of the planet, we need to get rid of people, cull the herd, as it were. Insane. Yeah, the one-child policy didn't work out so well for China, did it? Do you know about the former Georgia Guidestones Commandment number 1? Yeah, keep the population under 500 million. That's a lot. That's a lot of people that won't be around. 7.5 billion people that aren't super keen on that commandment, which somebody blew up. Somebody blew up the commandments. Oh, that's insane. That is insane. G Meister with a $5 super chat. They're trying to bring Peterson down because they can't stay up at his level. No, they can't. But this is the thing. So this is what sophists do. They don't want to engage in debate. They have tricks. They're tricksters. So they'll engage. If you're in a debate with them, they'll engage in sophistry. Well, it's called sophistry, tricks, gaslighting. They'll use straw men. They won't debate on the merits. They'll use ad hominem attacks on you. They'll try to attack your character. They'll try outside of debate. They'll try to take you out in other ways. Go after your employer. Go after have random people give them your address and have people commit violence against you at your home, things like that. Doxing's a thing. We've all seen that. We've all seen that happen with so many. Pull up the pyramid of argument. I don't know the pyramid of argument. Joe? Joe, pull that stuff up. Pull that shit up. Oh, I don't know the pyramid of argument. Joe, can you send it to me in like an image of it in Discord or something? Just send it on over to me and I'll pop that up. Oh, okay. G Meister sent me the embryo thing, but it's in a YouTube video. I can't show other people's YouTube videos while I'm live. Sorry, and I appreciate you sending that to me, but it'd have to be in like the form of an article or something like that, and not behind a paywall. These are the things that we have to do as creators to make sure we're not breaking the rules. Like I said, I'm not breaking any rules. I'm in it for the long haul. YouTube, if they wanted rid of me, they'll have to work for it. I'm not convinced that they want rid of me, though, at this point. Oh, okay. This is new to me. This is great, actually. Holy cow. Wow, thanks for that, Joe. See, this is why I have a behind-the-scenes guy. Joe Lyman with the... Oh, this is amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so here's the pyramid of argument. So refuting the central point. So if you want to nail it, boing, right at the top, bam, this is where you're going. You refute the central point. The argument is what you're actually arguing about. The central point, the main premise of what you're arguing. You want to refute that? Okay, refute the central point. Explicitly refutes the central point. It's very straightforward. It's right there, pinpointed at the top. Refutation. So this is a little less good. This isn't the ideal thing. Refutation finds the mistake and explains why it's mistaken. Uses quotes. It's still good, but it's not as good as the refutation of the central point. But it's valid. It is valid argumentation. Counter argument. Okay, so contradicts and then backs up contradiction with reasoning and or supporting evidence. So this isn't proving your point, but it is showing that the other person's logic is flawed. And I'd say that, that's kind of contradicts and then backs up contradiction with reason and or supporting evidence. Okay, we got contradiction next. States the opposing case with little or no supporting evidence. Well, that's not good. We're already going somewhere not so great. So in the counter argument, when you contradict something, so you're contradicting yourself in this, I'm guessing. Oh, that's not good. And then backs up contradiction with reasoning and or supporting evidence. Oh, that's not as good as I thought it was. I thought you were pointing out the other person's contradictions. Oops. No, that's not good. That would not fly. And then the contradiction states the opposing case with little or no supporting evidence. Then when that fails, you go to the responding to tone. What? All right, here we go. Criticize to the tone of the writing without attacking the substance of the argument. How dare you talk to me in that tone? How dare you speak to me? How absolutely dare you speak to me in that sort of tone? You're wrong because of the tone you're using. I'm so offended by that. Oh, God. And then here's where it gets worse. Ad hominem. Ad hominem attacks the characteristics or authority of the writer without addressing the substance of the argument. Well, that's not a bad argument for a mechanic. But next time I want to learn about economics, I think I'll go to an economist. Thanks anyway. Oh, these are the things I love hearing these. I love hearing these things. It doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make you wrong at all. Oh, ad hominem. Yeah, that's absolutely that. And then straight into name calling. It sounds something like this. You are an asshat. Oh, thank you for that, Joe. That's so good. That's amazing. I didn't even know about this. That made my night. That's fantastic. Anyway, let's get into this. I'm gonna try not to dwell too much on this story because we've already gotten in quite a bit to this one. Jordan Peterson says Ontario psychologist license may be suspended over public statements. This is an article from Global News, of course, you know, always reliable, always telling the truth, always completely on point every time. Controversial author and public figure Jordan Peterson has been told to undergo a mandatory coaching program by the College of Psychologists of Ontario. It's just a coaching program. Due to the public statements he has made, Peterson, however, said all of the complaints at the issue are political and don't have anything to do with his past or present clients as a psychologist. I'm to take a course of such, I am to take a course of such training with reports documenting my progress or face an in-person tribunal and suspension of my right to operate as a licensed clinical psychologist, Peterson wrote on Twitter. And that's where we are there. Kevin Watson. Sorry, my bad. Dyslexia is a real pain. Kevin Watson with a $10 super chat. Thank you so much. Bob and Doug speaking to Trudeau. Take off your hoser. I want my old Canada back. The tyrant is out of control. Peterson being a target just shows how panicked the left are. And I would argue it's not just the left, it's the establishment. It's the establishment because we have these people on the left and the right. You know, we just call them different names. You know, you call them commies on the left, and you call them fascists on the right. Whatever. It's the uniparty. They're the same. They're the same people. But yeah, take off your hoser. Funny story for those that don't know what the term hoser means. This is actually a funny thing. Where I grew up, people didn't call each other hoser. But I heard it for the first time genuinely being used when I moved up to Sudbury, Ontario, and I lived there for almost a year. And I'm walking on the street, and I just overhear somebody saying, "Yeah, that guy was a total hoser, eh?" I'm like, whoa, okay, I know where I'm at now. Anyway, so the term hoser, people, especially Americans, don't understand this. But even a lot of Canadians now don't understand where the term hoser came from. And it's an old hockey term. It's like Pee Wee League stuff. It's like like small town hockey kind of thing. Can-explain it. Yeah, that's right. I gotta can-explain it. It's like mansplaining, but from a Canadian perspective. But what a hoser is, eh? Don't you be a hoser, eh? You wanna go be in a hoser? What? You get water all over your coat, and you'll ruin it. You get a soaker. You don't want that. Move out west. People don't know what a soaker is. If you're from Ontario, tell me in the chat if you know what a soaker is. Tell me if you know what a soaker is. Take off, eh? But so where the term hoser comes from is actually when this is before Zambonis existed, right? So back in the day, you didn't get to somebody got it. A soaker's not the sniffles. No, it's a wet shoe. It's a wet foot. Oh, when I moved out west, I got a soaker one time, and I was like, oh man, I got a soaker, and they're like, what? What's a soaker? Like a water gun? No, a soaker. You know, when you step in a puddle and your shoe gets all wet inside, it's a soaker. Anyway, so back in the day, they didn't have Zambonis, and a lot of people played backyard hockey and stuff like that. But when you would play a game, the losing team would have to go out and wet the ice. That was the thing. So the ice get all scraped up and all that. So you'd have to get out there with squeegees and a hose. Yeah, and that's the thing. So if you're a loser, you're a hoser. You're the guy with a hose, and that's it. You're a loser. Hoser with your soaker. That's just the thing. I'm from Montreal. I'm so ignorant. Yeah. Well, that's where that term came from. So, yeah, drunken hoser getting a soaker, eh? Don't fall on the ice there. Oh, I love it. Anyway, let's get. I keep getting sidetracked. Here we go. Here's Brian Lilly talking about this as well. So Lilly, Jordan Peterson launches court challenge as College of Psychologists attempts to pull license over social media posts. So Brian Lilly actually had a conversation with Jordan. One day, I'm hoping to have Jordan on the show. I'd love to have him as a guest. I'd really like to pick his brain. That'd be fantastic. But he's a busy guy, I know. And it's really hard to get the attention of such a busy guy. But hey, maybe one day. The complaints against him and the attempt to pull his license are all political, Jordan Peterson tells me over the phone. He's decided to finally push back against the College of Psychologists of Ontario after a demand that he submit to a social media re-education or lose his license. So, and the article goes on. If you want to link to this article, it's in the video that I did this week. It would be the second video on Jordan Peterson. Definitely worth a read. Get into this. And yeah, it's showing that he's definitely fighting back against this form of tyranny. It's insane. Again, weaponizing the institutions against people for political reasons. I mean, who's done that in the past? Maybe the communists, maybe the fascists. Oh, but they have the nerve to call him a fascist. It's insane. To wanting to have open dialogue. Now, a lot of people have, and I think that, it's interesting timing, this all coming at him at this time, this re-education stuff. They've been harassing him since 2018, apparently. This is what his daughter was saying on her show. So this has been going on for a while, but I need a wobbly pop, Clyde. Well, you can get started on him if you need to. I'm gonna wait until the show's over. Here, I've got one other topic I wanted to get into for sure before we get going. Anyway, I lost my train of thought there. Jordan Peterson being under attack. Now, I think it's interesting timing. I don't know if it's correlated. I don't know if they thought it was an opportune time because of something else was going on. Jordan Peterson has been attacked by people who normally support him. And this for the reason that he's been having this dialogue about anonymity on the internet and how crazy people behave on the internet. And I'm kind of torn on this subject because I think people are taking what he's saying and running to another extreme with it. I think they're going beyond the pale of what he's actually advocating for. But I may be wrong. I could be wrong. But my gut feeling is that he's not advocating that we out and dox everybody on the internet. I think what he's talking about, and I think he's awkwardly he's having an external dialogue that maybe is meant to be an internal dialogue, but he's discussing with people the concept of anonymity, how horrible a lot of these people are with their anonymity. And it's not everybody, but there's a very, very vocal bunch of them. That's for sure. And of course, people that are as prominent as he is are going to get a lot of attention from a lot of these people, these anon accounts that can just say whatever they want to say with zero consequences of anything coming to bite them in the ass, you know? And that's the thing about these anon accounts. And I've often likened Twitter to being like having a complex intellectual discussion with an angry chihuahua behind a chain link fence. And that's really what Twitter is. And it's difficult to defend him on it because I don't necessarily agree with him, but I mean, I can defend his right to have these opinions, but he's been under attack by a lot of people for voicing his concerns about anonymity and the internet. And I know there's good reasons why a lot of people feel that anonymity is important. And actually, I think this is something I wanted to have a chat with Joe about, because he's got some insight as well. Maybe we'll chat about that in the podcast coming up this week, because that could be a good one to dive into, because it's complex, and it's not so easily just like ruled one way or the other. It's not black and white, and there's no winning and losing. There's no gotcha, man. It's a complex issue, and I think there's a place for anonymity for sure, but I think there's also a place to call people out. But again, you can't blame it all on anonymity. And this is where my argument against what he's saying is, because it seems like he's putting a lot of stake in where this behavior comes from out of anonymity. But look at Hollywood actors, actresses, look at politicians, look at all these people that have no anonymity and are saying the stuff that they're saying on Twitter to people, directly to them. I think there's another aspect to this. I think there's something crazy going on with that. And I think it goes beyond just the idea of anonymity. So, and I think that's the litmus test. So like again, I say you take your Socratic method is to look at a logic and apply it elsewhere. And if it doesn't work, well, the logic falls apart. And this is where that falls apart. You're talking about anonymity being the core issue that drives why people behave badly on the internet. Okay, apply that to celebrities. The argument falls apart. So it's got to be something else, or it's a mixture of things. What is it? And this is the kind of conversation that we should be having. And I agree with this. And to just cut him down immediately and say, no, screw you, I don't like this guy anymore, I'm not going to listen, discount everything you've ever said, this guy's bad, is a terrible way of looking at it. But yeah, having the conversation and saying, no, I disagree with that concept. Let's discuss it further. Let's not true, exception, not the rule. Well, yeah, it's yeah, but you can't. Yeah, you can have exceptions to rules, of course, but it doesn't work that way everywhere. It doesn't work that way everywhere. Especially, okay, here's another example, right? Even people who are not celebrities, but people who have their names out there, they can be absolutely vitriolic. They can say the worst things in the world so long as they're politically leaning one way. So as long as they politically lean that way, they're free to say all the crazy things that they say. But if they lean another way, they got to be anonymous, because you got the hellhounds are coming for you. They're or even neutral. If you're politically neutral and you're vitriolic, the hellhounds are coming for you. Yeah. You have been trained. No offense. Oh, I've been trained. Well, okay. Well, I'll just take that as a criticism. But, Don, very true. Unless you are in Trudeau's cabinet, no one agrees 100% with any other person's opinion. That's good. That's good. But yeah, you can't agree with everything. And I think it's an ongoing conversation that hasn't really been fleshed out. My ideas aren't aren't fully fleshed out on it. So again, here I am just kind of spitballing and putting my opinions out there in an unformulated, unfinished sort of way. So you can't take that as gospel. Like, there's no way you can't take that as gospel. And I don't think you should take anything that Jordan Peterson says as gospel, because then you're looking at things in the wrong way. How about getting a P.O. box? Tired of those useless mofos getting a cut on your work. Jerome Noel, thank you for the $20 super chat. I actually just did get a P.O. box. I got it today. I'm gonna make it available. Make sure everybody knows where it is. The other thing included was I have some young liberal-minded art students that I hired to open every package in a separate facility ahead of time. So I won't be opening the packages first. They'll all be opened by some Justin Trudeau voting, liberal-minded art students before I ever touch them. You gotta supply them with work somehow, right? It's a job. It's a job, and they don't want to flip burgers. They refuse to. So they have a hard enough time at Starbucks. So that's the way we're gonna go from there. I just come in, damn, we'll listen to the prior tomorrow. Yeah, listen to that later. Anyway, ideas for not completely formulated. You got to take these things with a grain of salt. This is an ongoing discussion amongst everybody, and I think it's important that we have these discussions. Don't crush the concept before we even get there. But wow, speaking of getting there, we're getting there. We're getting there in the evening. My voice is getting tired, but I wanted to get on this subject. So let's get on this subject. And this subject is, of course, in the title. And this is good old Bonnie Henry. Nathan Rachin, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Thank you for the membership. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much. You need merch too long. James, I'll get it. I'll get on it. Sorry, I've been slacking. Just worrying about the content. That's my biggest thing. Jerome Noel with $2 super chat got a pal. Don't want to be a criminal. I don't know what you're saying. But working on that. Okay. Sure, if not McDonald's, perhaps A&W for your young helpers. There you go. Yeah, A&W. It's amazing the fast food jobs, they pay so much in my town. Yeah, I know what a pal is. I do know what a pal is. Yeah, funny thing is I did all the gun safety courses and stuff. I was gonna get my restricted, and then I heard that it gives them the right to enter your home at any time. I was like, nope, and I didn't file the paperwork. So I gotta go back to the guy that I did the safety course with and get his signature on the paperwork, and then I can send it. Taborcorn hat with your logo on it. There you go. But yeah, that's where I'm at with that. Anyway, let's get into the Bonnie Henry situation. This Tom Jackman, I think he's like a big old liberal dude. He tweets a lot about this type. Dad, feminist, collector. Okay, whatever. Anyway, he posted this. Don't care about his opinion so much as it's. But this is Bonnie Henry speaking.
Infected, but not.
Oops.
It is more people being infected, but not more severe illness in those people who are being infected. Just larger numbers mean more people going to hospital. It is more.
That's pretty telling. That's pretty telling. So more people are being infected. It doesn't mean that just larger numbers mean more people going to hospital. So more people are being infected by this thing. It's not more dangerous as the name would lead you to believe. The mythical creature that leaves no one surviving, maybe one to tell the tale. The Kraken, the new virus, the BB15, the XBB15, the Kraken. What's after Kraken? Lex Luthor? It's going to be the Lex Luthor virus next season. That's it. So the Kraken is yeah. So, I mean, she's even saying it here. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's not bad. But here she is again, just showing how inhumane she is as a human being. This is Dre Humphrey on Twitter. She does prepping and politics. I'm not going to read the quote. You can hear her.
First, we need to give everybody the opportunity to be immunized. That is really important in healthcare. And I have very little patience for people who aren't immunized in healthcare. And that will be, we've had a vaccinator mass policy for influenza. We will have a very similar policy that if people choose not to be immunized and you work in healthcare, then you will not be able to work in certain settings without taking additional measures. There will be consequences for that decision. Sorry,
I lost my train of thought. I was just so angry at other people's decisions medically. I just can't let them make their own decisions medically. Why would we allow that? So she gets into this. She has no patience for people who are not immunized. So she used specific language here, which I thought was very interesting because so like a lot of people like Brett Weinstein and his wife Heather from the Dark Horse podcast, a lot of other people in the science world, in medical professions, have been questioning why we even call it a vaccine. It's leaky at best, and it doesn't provide immunization. It's now that narrative has been over for a long time. There's no immunization. Immunization is where you've been, you have immunity from a thing. You've been inoculated by exposure to a thing that renders you immune. So immunity, if they use the same immunization definition, I'd love to use that immunization against Pfizer when they said that they're immune from prosecution. Let's use the leaky immunization against the pharmaceutical industry. Let's do that. Let's go after Moderna with some leaky immunization legally when it comes to these things. It's oh God. How dare you actually use this term for this procedure? I honestly, I'm offended. I'm offended at the terminology being used, because it's one thing to mislead people, but that's outright lying. That's an outright lie. You're not immunized. You're not immunized unless you've been inoculated. Now, you could be inoculated by catching it. So one thing we could be doing for our medical professionals, if they're very concerned about this, is if you have very little patience about people who aren't immunized, check them for antibodies. Check them for antibodies, because this could have been the way out of it. And I'm serious about this. Because there is no better immunization than having caught something and have the antibodies for it. There is no better immunization. If you're inoculated, you are inoculated. And that's not what this thing does. That's not what they're doing. So I'm very offended at that. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying it. But that's something I'm definitely offended by. But then she goes on to say this other thing where she was saying that they've always had a mask immunize or mask policy. I believe that's what she said.
healthcare, and that will be, we've had a vaccinate or mask policy for influenza.
Vaccinate or mask. Vaccinate or mask. Vaccinate or mask policy for influenza. So they've had that policy for a long time. So during outbreaks of influenza, if you did not want to get the inoculation for influenza, which traditionally is not mRNA, it's another form of inoculation, but you would have the choice as a medical professional of getting the inoculation or wearing a mask. You couldn't do both. But she said it right there. Vax or mask. Why is it not happening in this case? Why is it not happening in this case? There are doctors and nurses in British Columbia that have still not gotten to be able to go back to work since the beginning of this whole thing. Not the beginning of the pandemic. No, as soon as they used the emergencies measures to coerce the population into a medical procedure. That's how long it's been going on. And they're still not back at work. They're still not back at work. And it irks me so bad. It really does. Trying to I won't find it. Nurse BC. I found it. Holy cow. I found it. So if you want to get more information on this, I recommend this nurse. I've been trying to get a hold of her, honestly. All of you guys, I'm gonna give the link in the chat right here. I'm gonna give the link right here. I'd love all you guys to go check out her video. Comments are turned off. Never mind. She's turned her comments off. Anyway, check it out and have a look at her channel. But
Corrine Maury here.
Comments are not turned off. Anyway. So 11 days ago, I wrote to her. I'd love to get her onto the channel to talk about her situation. So she's a nurse in British Columbia. She's not allowed back to work. Her union's not helping her out. And she's organizing with a bunch of other nurses. And in order to, she has good insight on Bills 36. Yes. And this is where I've gotten some of my information. She doesn't have any contacts, though. So get in her comments and flood her comments with, you got to go talk to Clyde. Talk to Clyde. Clyde, do something. Go talk to him because I would really like to have her on the show to talk about the stuff that's going on here. The stuff that the government doesn't want you to know. The stuff that the Bonnie Henry doesn't want you to know. The colleges of physicians, the College of Nurses, all of these things don't want you to know. The unions don't even want you to know. The unions have been screwing these nurses over, and it's just insane what they're doing. They'd actually be better off without their union. Can you believe that? They would actually have better representation. They would actually be allowed to represent themselves. They would be allowed to lobby the government. They're not even allowed to lobby the government because there's a clause in their union contract that the union has to do that for them. I like that. Talk to the Clyde. You guys are funny. Bonnie Hysteria. Talk to Clyde. Yeah. Go over to her channel. Subscribe to her channel. Tell her, pay attention to your your comments. I want to bring this to a larger platform. I said to her here, I said, hi, Corrine. I can offer you a bigger platform to spread your message. I report to a largely Canadian audience with daily content about what's happening around our country. I'd love to have you on to talk to you about what's happening to our healthcare and nurses in BC. So Yeah, get over there, and hopefully we can get a hold of her so we can get the message out there. But yeah, Bonnie Henry, ugh, it's just insane. Now, I saw this tweet today, and I like this a lot. This is JD saying, I think Bonnie Henry needs a reminder. What's this reminder? Sorry, chat, gotta go. Elements of consent. This is the law. Your expressed, informed, and explicit consent, voluntary, must be obtained prior to treatment. Without consent, it is considered assault under the Criminal Code of Canada. Consent given under fear or duress is not consent. Does anyone else see Clyde's comment on that video? I don't know. It'll be in there somewhere. It won't be on the top probably because mine, if you put it at sort to newest, it might work. But yes, consent given under fear or duress is not considered content under the law. It's not considered consent under the law. This is the Criminal Code of Canada. 2, Sections 235-3 of the Criminal Code of Canada defines consent in relation to assault as, for the purpose of this section, no consent is obtained where the complainant submits or does not resist by reason of A, the application of force to the complainant. I think it's supposed to say complainant, or to a person other than the complainant. Threats or fear of the application of force to the complainant or to a person other than the complainant. Fraud or the exercise of authority. You cannot just simply exercise your authority on somebody. You can't threaten them with force to that person. You can't have threats of force on that person, and you can't use authority. The Ontario Healthcare Consent Act of 1996 defines consent as no treatment without consent. 10. A health practitioner who proposes a treatment for a person shall not administer the treatment and shall take responsible steps to ensure that it is not administered unless A, he or she is of the opinion that the person is capable with respect to the treatment and the person has given consent, or he or she is of the opinion that the person is incapable with respect to the treatment and the person's substitute decision maker has given consent on the person's behalf in accordance with this act. 7, the following are elements required for consent to treatment. The consent must relate to the treatment. The consent must be informed. How informed have we been about this stuff? And how much more information are we getting now that this is all coming out? Oof, the consent must be given voluntarily. That's not what was happening. The consent must not be obtained through misrepresentation or fraud. We have here the Nuremberg Code, Article 6, Section 1. Any preventative, diagnostic, and therapeutic medical intervention is only to be carried out with the prior free and informed consent of the person concerned, based on adequate information. The consent should, where appropriate, be expressed and be withdrawn by the person concerned at any time for any reason without disadvantage or prejudice. Employer access to health records. No employer shall seek to gain access except by an order of the court or other tribunal in order to comply with another statute to health record concerning a worker without the worker's written consent. You can't ask for records. And I would say that would extend to patronizing freaking restaurants too, or the barber, or anything, or going to your nan's house. It's insane. Clyde, you're forgetting that in Trudeau's world, all words are subject to interpretation. Yeah, all words are subject to interpretation. No, see, that's the thing about law, right? The law is really clear, and it's set by precedent. Like, and definitions are made. They're made in the laws, and you can't just redefine words. Oh, I dread to find out what ends up happening with the Rouleau Commission. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm very grateful for finding you, Clyde. I'm too scared to go anywhere near Canada. It's sad that I live 4 hours away. Yeah, Canada, well, we're all afraid of it. We're all afraid of it. What we're afraid of is the digital Berlin Wall. That's what we're afraid of. That digital Berlin Wall, that one that keeps us out of America. We can't leave because of, you know, our decisions, the things that we said on the internet, what have you. And they render our money useless. This is what's really scary about the whole idea of a digital currency tied to digital ID, with the ability to change what's able to be purchased based on any profile. That's terrifying. And it's what's happening in China. How well is that working for them? The digital Berlin Wall of CBDC. Yeah, the digital bank, digital currency. Is that what that is? That's the whole point. That's the whole point. Now, you have to remember, the Berlin Wall wasn't built to keep people out. It was built to keep people in. In fact, in the Soviet Germany and socialist Germany, when people retired and they were now a burden on society, they were actually given the choice to leave. That's right. They were given the choice to leave when they were promised everything for their socialist utopia. And they complied, and they did everything they could and everything they wanted, and they became a burden on the state as soon as they were done and were promised a retirement. They were offered freedom rather than being a burden on the state. Nowadays, we're giving a different offer. We're offering a different way of leaving. It's scary. It's scary. So yeah, pray for us in Canada. Honestly, it's terrifying. It really is. It really is. But listen, I usually leave it on a higher note than that. Holy cow! Oh goodness, I usually do. But we've been at it for 2 hours and 12 minutes and 42 seconds. We've been at it for some time, and I thank you guys, all of you, for coming out. You guys are fantastic. We're gonna go have some wobbly pops. We're gonna cheer up, and we're gonna go hang out in the Discord. Go have some wobbly pops over there. I got myself one of these coolers for Christmas. It's a thing where I can put my wobbly pops in it and keep them chilled so they don't get warm while I'm chatting away and I'm talking to everybody. It's a interesting little unit here, and I'm excited to try it out. Positive note, Canadians are finally fighting back. That's the positive note. I think that's where we should end off on, because with my whole life in Canada, we've seen so many times where things happen, we just get pushed to the brink and taxes go up. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna bring in this new temporary tax, GST. Don't worry, it's temporary, just to balance the budget. Once the budget's balanced, then it's gonna be gone. Then they balance the budget, and then and everybody gets. What about the GST? I thought it was gonna be done after. whatever. I guess it's a thing we're gonna pay, and this is the way this is the way it's been my whole life. People just mad about what our government does to us. The government still does it. Nobody does anything about it. There's nothing. Nobody raises a stink. Well, guess what? We're raising a stink. We're raising a stink now, and there's lots more of us every day that are raising a stink. This is the way it's going. This is the new Canada. They want Canada to evolve. Well, this is how it's evolving. It's evolving, and we're evolving with it. So that's the way. Switch it to Clyde. Oh, like that song. I know the song. Okay, but that's where we're going. Honk, honk. Here we come. That's that's the way of the future of Canada, and I thank everybody. I thank everybody for joining, and I thank everybody for getting active in Canada. It's inspired me. It's inspired so many other people to be part of the cause, and we're just welcoming more and more people. They want to throw it out at us that we're a fringe minority. They want to throw it at us white supremacy, but there's so many people from all kinds of race, creeds, colors, everything joining in and fighting against this. So many people, they moved away from horrible countries with bad governments to come here. Do you think that they want Canada to turn that way? No way. No way. People who grew up in the Soviet Union, people who grew up in caste systems like in India, where you don't have a choice. This is how this is as good as it gets. SOL. They moved to Canada. Do you think they want it to go back to, oh, this is as good as it gets? SOL. No. People are fighting. We're all fighting, and people are waking up to it, and I'm really excited. It makes me excited. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you all. It's been a slice. It's been a great week. I'm going to take a couple of days off. We're going to have some wobbly pops in the Discord. Join us if you're keen. Links are in the description down below. We'll be over there having a couple of those. I'll definitely see you guys on Monday morning. I'm excited. I'm going to be having some conversations. I'm going to have a conversation over the weekend. Apparently there's a just before I get going, I'm gonna be talking with Beth Ann Nodwell on Sunday, so it'll be published on Monday morning. But they're organizing some stuff for Jordan Peterson. They're gonna be going to the College of Psychologists in Ontario, raising a stink in front of their office on Wednesday. So learn more about the whole plan for that. And they're organizing some stuff for when Christine from the UN, Christine, I'm blanking, the amazing woman from Germany, I believe, out of the UN. She's going to be coming to Canada to speak to some of the people fighting for freedom in our country here. And Beth Ann Nodwell is going to be Christine Anderson. Thank you so much, chat. You guys are great. Remnant Disciple. Thank you so much for that. But yeah, Christine Anderson is going to be coming to Canada. She's going to do a 3-city tour at the end of February. Unfortunately, Vancouver is not going to be one of those cities. Christine, if you're listening to this right now, come to Vancouver. I'll drive down. I'll come meet you. I'll shake your hand. It would be amazing to meet with you and chat. But anyway, if you can't, that's fine. Beth Ann Nodwell organizing some stuff for that. Look out for that on Monday. We're going to be doing that. Look out on Thursday evening. There's going to be another chat, this time with Joe and myself. You'll get to know Joe a little bit better in that chat. And we're going to be talking about a number of topics, things that we just really wanted to talk about and have been just kind of sitting there stewing. I want to have this discussion and get into it. We're going to pre-record that and then have that as a premiere on Thursday. Don't forget the premieres on Thursdays at 6 Pacific, 9 Eastern. And then, of course, the live streams. But every morning throughout the week, look forward to those videos. Anyway, we'll see you in the next one.